Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some more MCC action. And, well, I say more MCC action, we're actually finishing something up. We got the last game of play-ins. We're working with our lower round 2. We saw our first lower round 2 just a few hours ago, something like that. And, well, now we got the last one for you guys here, Clemson versus OKWU. I'm Nivex, and I'm joined by Dancing Banana. What are your thoughts on the match? A really interesting one, that's for sure. And I don't know, it's definitely an interesting selection of players. Obviously, in this case, Clemson, you might sit there and say Clemson has like a little bit, I guess, of the upper hand in things with the fact that obviously they won their first game and then took that loss in the upper rounds, bumping down to here. So maybe they still have a little bit of confidence knowing that took them a while before someone knocked them down to get them here. But I mean, this OKWU team, if you guys have been able to catch any of the matches that happened during groups and, well, a lot of the play that we've seen so far in the play-ins, you know that this team, they don't go down easy. They don't go down easy in that initial match for the uppers. They took them to game, not 5-7. And, well, obviously hard-fought battles the whole way through to get them here. So if I were to start throwing out predictions about what would happen in this match, I feel like it's probably going to be a pretty long one. Mm-hmm. Okay. In 6. Okay. Okay, so we are throwing out game numbers. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's gonna I know I gotta think about the game number now. Okay, I will start off by saying that I do think Clemson's gonna take this one. I think my prediction is going to go to Clemson. I still think that it's going to be a decently long match as well. I don't think either of these teams really have any sway, any major advantage over each other. It's going to be who's going to fight harder, who's gonna have the better hand. I shouldn't say hand because it's claws versus talons, I guess in this case. But who's going to be able to strike harder? Who's going to be able to make those shots count? Because I think honestly, I think this is going to go to a game 7 if I had to guess. But I do have Clemson going. Mhm. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like both of these teams have I feel like both of these teams have a little bit going against them, no matter what is really swaying their way, no matter what is really, like swinging in their favor. But I don't know. At the end of the day, the only way that we can decide it is going straight to the pitch, and we will do so. Starting off this game number 1, Clemson on the blue side, OKWU on the orange. And, well, you said this was going to be the most important match. We got it underway. Mm. Yeah, truthfully, this is going to be a little hard for me to make sure that I remember Clemson is on the blue side. This is not their natural colors that they're rocking. We'll see if maybe that's a good change of pace. Maybe this is a little bit of variety. Maybe they're getting a little bit bored of those orange stripes and instead rocking a little bit of blue this time around. So, nonetheless, they are going to have to deal with something, and that is going to be this OKWU offense with a decent amount of pressure coming through so far. They're going to have to push this off to the side. Still relentless. Pasta able to push it out and get immediately there to follow it up. He's going to try and go off the ceiling. Not too much boost. Does get the flip, and again, Pasta on the back wall. He's able to catch up to this and, well, at least stay behind it. Not quite able to, not just yet. You still have, well, still have 3 and some odd minutes to go in this match as Big 50 comes out, heading straight back to that blue side. Not too much breathing for Clemson here, at least none that seems to be restrained, although Pasta, he does have an opportunity. He's going to be able to go off the backboard, gets a 50. Not quite in the direction he probably would have liked. They will still at least try and hold on to possession. A possible dump coming through, but at least nothing showing up just yet. Yeah, that is 100% true. Although Posse might be going for a solo play here. Able to get it over one. Is Scooby going to be able to follow? No. Unfortunately, not able to get past that last defender. And we might see OKWU maybe actually playing a little bit on the back foot here. Having to take it off or out of their own corner, I should say. A little bit of play off of the wall here. Gallium immediately turning around. He might have a shot opportunity, and he does. It is in. Clemson. They're going to start off with scoring. Ooh. No, I mean, all things considered, everything stat-wise is tied up, except for the fact that Clemson, well, they're the ones scoring goals. So, not too much that you can say relative to OKWU's performance so far, at least. Obviously, they're generating opportunities, but it doesn't seem like they've been able to capitalize on them as a shot might come through here. Just as I'm saying that, might be a good time for me to throw in some caster curses here or there just to help on this side of OKWU, although that might show a little bit of favoritism if I were to do that. So we'll try and stay as evenly balanced. Although actually, I predicted Clemson. So yeah, my favoritism, yeah, my favoritism has no sway in this, as a shot will come through. Gallium able to stay behind it, and I mean, I played against that guy. I know what he can do. He's gonna be doing a lot of work this series. Will be the one to take, and he might be going for a dunk here. Scoob right behind the ball when that got 50'd. Not able to get the second touch, but It shows that this Clemson team, they are there even when it seems like, a wild 50 might be coming through or some far touch might be trying to be made. They're still where they need to be when the ball is moving around the field. Low 50 here from Gallium just to try and keep possession, although that is a bump. He is able to get back, and within these last 10 seconds, and, well, with Clemson having possess, both players pre-jumping, we might see a shot on net that is going to go off the crossbar, but nonetheless, it is going to end up being a game for Clemson. We might have to see if maybe one last goal does come through for either team. Pasta up, opting to put it down, and, well, Clemson able to take this game number 1. Yeah, a good turnaround, I will say, definitely along the lines of what you just said, in the sense that, like, it seemed like OKWU had a lot of the pressure starting things off. It seems like they were the ones that were really gunning for the ball more so than Clemson. Might have just been maybe some cold feet to start getting into the series, but nonetheless, Clemson able to find it, maybe just starting to understand how the flow of the game really started turning. And I mean, sometimes it's a little straightforward for me to say they just figured out what they needed to do, but as I said halfway through the match, all the stats are lined up the same except for the fact that Clemson's scoring. So OKWU maybe needing to capitalize on some opportunities. I did see some good moments where they got a bump in here and there. They were able to disrupt the defense, but nothing, at least so far, that seemed to really turn their favor too much. So going into this game number 2, they're going to have to try and figure that out. Well, Pasa, beautiful 50 coming through. Definitely forcing this OKWU team to get back. A demo coming through on the side. That does mean he's a little off. Gallium having to stay back to make sure that nothing dangerous happens from that. NK able to get a touch off. A diving knight is able to at least get in front of the net, and there will be some continued pressure, but Clemson able to clear it out, and OKWU, they're going to have to try and take it out of their own corner to force it out. Some big touches will be coming through. We'll have to see if Clemson may be able to take it off of their own backboard and do something with it. That is a touch over. I think it is just wide, unfortunately, and a massive pinch from Knight will at least slow down any possible attacks that Clemson is trying to build up as Skeleton Jack plays this to the side. Ooh. Goes through just a big touch here, something that I feel like I see this a lot from OKWU, in that they kind of send the ball forward and they try and get their opponents to make the mistakes. They try to react to what their opponents are doing because they know they can capitalize off of those opportunities. In that case, they just saw they had a shot opportunity all the way across, even if it wasn't a possible shot opportunity, although Scoob, I don't know how you can really do anything against that when he's trying to pinch it off the ceiling, but nonetheless, that is the kind of goals that you see from OKWU. That is the kind of plays that you see. They try to capitalize off of a slow defense. They try to capitalize off of just small moments here and there that they know they can sneak a shot in. They can try and get something past you, and I mean, if they're going to get into this series with their first win, their first goal, it is going to be just that, as, well, looks like this Clemson defense not able to catch up to that. Yeah, I mean that is something. Obviously, no matter how you're playing the game, no matter how you're really approaching things, it's a matter of holding on to a playstyle that you are comfortable with, even if in like a first game or so, it doesn't fully go to your favor. It doesn't fully go into the way that you're expecting it to. It's something that if you're confident in what you do, you can jump on that opportunity and just try to hold strong with it. A lot of the times, a lot of these games, you try to find these ways to maybe make some changes, make some moves to try and just adjust to what your opponent is doing. And sometimes even within those first games, that's not always the case. It's not always how it works. That's not always what happens. Even if the score kind of ends up showing that that might be the case. And I think in this case, all things considered, this has kind of shown that OKWU, they can still play their playstyle. So what, it didn't work in the first game, we're still seeing a decent amount of progression from them. So nonetheless, they are able to do something as they're throwing some shots on Ned. Gallium, he's going to have to force this off to the side. Not able to get that second touch. Knight, he's going to have to chase this down. Will he beat Pasta? No. Pasta able to get behind it. Does get the flip reset. Able to get it past one. Clemson getting out of their own half. Maybe trying to steal a bump here. That is going to make this defense awkward. Scoop trying to settle it. No, unfortunately, that is just going to be flicked a little too wide. Skeleton Jack, very low boost, but he's able to stay behind it. Taking it backward, but does get bumped off. And at the end of the day, it does not matter. NK able to finish out what Skeleton Jack started. Yeah, nice flick here in this case. Able to just put it in front of the net. Still able to just make it a little bit of a challenge. Make it a little bit of a problem to, well, turn things around. I shouldn't say really turn things around. At least continue with the momentum that you seem to have started developing with yourself. Although some big dunks coming through. That's something that, I mean, you do want to see it from Clemson. You want to see that pressure really building up. Maybe not the most confident goal in the world, but nonetheless, even though I believe my partner has been muted for a little bit, we are still seeing some... You are here? You're laughing? Okay. All right. I It's extracurricular. I think that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I still do think, unfortunately, I am a little bit alone here. I'm getting information that Dancing Madam, you are not coming through stream, apparently. So I mean, we are still just hanging out right now. Pasta able to get a goal of his own. Some interesting comments that are coming through from Clemson, but nonetheless, a great performance here from Oakwood. And Clemson's pre-jumping this. That is quite the show. Even though you're going to be going down a game, it's always nice that there's still a little bit of whimsy, so a little bit of something fun going on. So, oh, you're back?
I think I'm back. Have I just been for solid 20 minutes just in the dark and I have never realized? Oh my god!
I think you might have.
I can't believe it. Dude, it just looks like you're schizophrenic now.
It might, dude. I was just sitting here. I was talking to no. I was just sitting here. I was commentating, going through, responding to what you were saying, and then all of a sudden I get spammed in Discord. Your casting duo. He's muted, by the way. So apologies for a little bit of technical errors. Not the kind that we expected.
No. I'm just in his head. What you're seeing is his imagination. We should probably talk about this game now. Hi guys, I'm actually here now. This is my second introduction. Isn't that depressing? God. Anyways,
I
I
believe you
voted
might need
for
to bump up your mic a bit.
I voted for OKWU. So that was a pretty great game to watch from my end. So that's all I got. I mean, it's 1-0 now in the series. Jesus, because I can't believe that just happened.
Uh,
This is
we
Rocket
promise
League.
this will be a little bit more organized when it comes to
Will it?
playoffs. There was some. I mean, you know what? That's what you guys come here for, right? You come here for MCC
Oh my
happenings,
god, I have
right?
13 ping.
This is an
Oh my god.
MCC happening. That's for sure. Who knows? Well, who knows what's happening? But nonetheless, we have a game 3 on our hands, even with the absolute chaos that is, well, happening apparently around me. I'm not the one doing production right now, so I might be a little bit of a bystander at the moment. But nonetheless, I am not alone. I am here with a beautiful production manager, I guess would be say, person running production. So at least you guys still can see the rest of this game, or at least listen to the rest of this game with 2 different voices, one not responding to another voice off in the distance.
God, I mean, I want to know to see how insane you sounded when I'd like try to tee you up for a question. God, you just might sound mad.
This VOD might not get posted.
No, it's funny to post this one, but I mean, while we're talking, Skeleton Jack, he scores after a minute. Oh my word. I can't believe it. This is
that's fun.
one of the things
There's
of
no
all time.
dull moment here. There's no dull moment
here
in the MCC.
I mean, it's a big goal for OKWU though, coming into game 3 there. We'll have to, and of course I got a flash flood warning on my phone. Jesus Christ! Can anything go
This
normal?
might be cursed.
This might
be cursed. We had rescheduling issues to get this game organized, and well, it seems like everything else wants to happen to make sure that this game does go on. But still, nonetheless, we are trying to make sure we're getting these games out to you guys. As Pasta, a little low on boost here, able to get the flip reset, not able to follow it up, and that is a shot on net. Although Scoob, maybe a little bit of debate whether or not he can go to that corner. Unable to catch up to the ball.
Yeah, it's been all OKWU pretty much. Obviously, they scored 2 goals prior the side of Clemson in the last game, but that was just for the fun of it. At this point, OKWU are the one that are running the show, and you gotta be careful here, because if you're gonna keep the streak up, I mean, that's an opportunity there for Skeleton Jack that didn't quite go through. Gotta be careful here, though.
Did you do as NK? He might be going for a little something here. For a second, I thought I was about to see a musty flick. Unfortunately, that is something that maybe you have to check in on whenever we do any of our 1v1 show matches for. Although, who knows? Maybe we might get one in the future, as Pasta trying to look for a possible shot here. Fortunately, this OKWU defense able to slow that down, maybe with a little bit of diving last second, but nonetheless, they are here. As that might be maybe not the best touch off the sideball.
Yeah, Skeleton Jack able to clear this out. It's gonna be Knight actually up, gets a 50 with Scoob. Into the corner, Gallium will be there, but it's a big 50 suddenly. There's a lot of chaos happening on the back lines. Pasta can't get it out. NK just makes it 3.
He does. In that case, just some massive 50s coming through. Obviously, the 50, maybe a little bit more of a dunk than a 50 if you were to try and put it on a scale. Able to bump it up to 3. This game, just like last, very much so turning into that OKWU favor, as you said, as might see a shot here from Skeleton Jack, not able to get that angle off of the corner. And, well, Pasta, he's going to try and do something here. Able to send it into the orange half. It is a little bit of an upturn from what has been happening previously. I'm trying to put it off to the side. Scoob just trying to stay behind it. And, well, some demos coming through, and maybe a little bit of a missed shot. Clemson still alive.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity that goes to waste there for OKWU, but they feel okay. 3-goal lead, but it's not a guaranteed one. Pasta just gets the boost, has an opportunity to do something, puts it center. NK's already there, but no flip. It makes things awkward, but Gallium just gives too much time to recover. Scoob now, Scoob's been on so much defense, it feels like, and that is not the norm for Scoob. But now they have an opportunity to make some offense happen, but no, NK just challenges that quick. Make sure that no shenanigans can happen. And, well, Clemson, they're playing on this defense, and with every second ticking away, Game 3 is looking more and more like it's OKWU's.
It is, and I kind of want to go back to what you said about making sure no shenanigans happen. I feel like that might be a decent motto for this OKWU team. They like to play some pretty solid soccer, some pretty solid Rocket League. They like to make sure everything is well in line. Maybe get a demo here and there. That is not this Clemson team. This Clemson team loves a little bit of chaos. They love to add some variety, some just crazy moments here and there to keep a team on their toes. And I feel like right now they're kind of not really able to do it. This OKWU team staying pretty steady and maybe getting a little bit of some aggression here in the midfield, able to at least slow down any kind of attacks, any kind of movements forward that Clemson tried to set up.
Yeah, Knight now has the ball and is just going to try to burn time away. If Flick can do that, it's an infield as well. NK's there, but we'll hit 50. But 40 seconds, 3 goals. We've been here before. And there wasn't anything that really happened for the side of Clemson to make me really believe that they can do it here. And yeah, Skeleton Jack clears it out. 30 seconds, more time being burnt away. Knight's already up, beats out Gallium. It's another 10 seconds gone on the clock, and with every second that ticks away, it's game 3 for OKWU, and with a touch like that, you burn so much. Gallium has to try to get a pinch here, but a 50 there, it's looking like it's over.
It's looking like it's over, and I mean, listen, it's possible to score 3 goals in 5 seconds, as that will be a shot on net, although I don't even know how that was saved. Nonetheless, it is going to get pushed off to the side, but it doesn't seem like the post really cares whether or not you're pushing the ball off to the side, as Gallium able to at least get a goal for this game, and maybe something they can take with a little pride going into game number 4.
Yeah, I mean, they got to hold on to something here, because at the moment, with this streak, I mean, maybe get the second. Oh, okay, well, that kind of sums up their entire game, doesn't it? Yep. It's a rough one if you are on the side of Clemson right now. You have been behind in both of these games. I mean, it's feeling like you get that 2-0 down deficit now twice, and then a third goal happens, and there wasn't a fourth here. There should have been a fourth here, but either way, you're constantly behind. It's just been so hard. It feels like Scoob, he cannot run his game. Gallium and Pasta are trying, but the physicality from OKWU especially, I think we've got to point that out. It's been 6 demos on their side. That is a not insignificant amount.
Yeah, and I do feel like it's important to point that out and saying, like, Clemson, if you guys were here for last season, they were one of the most demo-heavy teams, if I'm correct, or at least they had players that highlighted a very aggressive, contact-heavy kind of play style. Maybe not the most demo-inflicted player in the entire league. We all know who that goes to. He's not in call with us right now, but nonetheless, we know this Clemson team to be aggressive. We know this Clemson team to really get in the face of opponents, and OKWU are kind of returning fire a little bit. They're dealing with a lot of the chaos that Clemson is trying to throw their way. And I mean, unless we see something change in this game number 4, it seems like OKWU, they know what to do to win.
Yeah, and I mean, if they don't change anything here and Clemson don't change anything here, well, we're going to be looking at a 3-1 oh so quickly, but right off the bat, it's actually Clemson that have an offense. That's a new one to say. And, oh, NK, the moment I say it, it's trying to clear it out. But Gallium, that midfield presence is good there. Tries to get a bump off, but no, won't be able to do so. And Pasta, their 50, goes into the corner, and NK's able to catch it. But I do like what I saw from Clemson a bit better there. They had an actual offense enough. Pasta, you gonna get that boost? There it goes. I swear he was on top of it. I can't even blame him.
That was definitely a unique moment that we just witnessed. I am also surprised he wasn't able to collect that for some reason, although he still has around close to 100, able to make that save to keep that ball out of their net. This ball is going to keep getting thrown, at least towards the backboard, towards that top upper section of the net. Great place to put it to make sure that a defense really has to work to do that. NK getting a bump here, although Pasta diving in last second, able to get a boost, tries to keep it up. Maybe not a touch that he would want, a little too far out, and Gallium, he's going to have to stay behind this. Actually looking for Pasta, that is going to be a shot towards net. NK able to get behind it, and, well, it seems like Clemson, they might be getting a little bit of offense going for themselves.
Yeah, it's a bit of offense, but that's a shot that should have been in! How in the world is that one not going? There's a counterattack on the other side! Knight! Pasta can't save it, and That's one that they're going to be wishing for right back.
Okay, that might have been a curse from me.
That might have been a curse and a half.
That might have been a curse from me. That was an immediate response after a scoring opportunity. But, I mean, in this case, Clemson not able to capitalize on some of the points that they're building up. I would like to say some of the stats, looking at last game, their shots were tied again. It seems like these games, both of these teams are seeming like they're getting the same amount of chances towards the net. It seems like, at least the stats reflecting, that they're getting the same amount of time to put the ball in. And, well, you know, as we saw with that first game and, you know, as we saw with that third game, it was really only one team that was doing the scoring. It was really only one team that was capitalizing on these opportunities. So I feel like there has to be some kind of break in this, or at least some kind of change in what Clemson's doing to maybe capitalize and turn this around.
Yeah, but Knight just scores another one, and, you know, the stats might say on paper Jaylen Brown is the 7th best player on the Celtics. I mean, but when you look at it with your eyes, you can see something completely different on the field. OKWU are up 2-0, and they're that close to getting match point.
Absolutely immaculate reference from Dancing Banana here.
It's 3-0.
Okay, it's a shot on net. I think I accidentally said MK, but that's fine. OKWU, again, going to their all too comfortable 3-0 lead. They seem to be getting almost every single game except for that first. And, well, I'm not seeing that much fight from Clemson.
Yeah, it really does feel like after they missed that goal, and they just go for the musty man. We see you. We see, that's a miss, okay. But anyways, we saw that miss, and genuinely Clemson, it just looked like that they just deflated. They were so good on the offense. They had things going their way, and they just lost at the moment that occurred. I mean, it is watching a team's mentality crumble this close to the finish line. They were one game away from making it to the playoffs in the uppers. They lost that, and now here, they're about to be one game away from being eliminated from the play-ins.
Not the best look in the world, and definitely a very notable momentum switch that you're pointing out here. Not only in, you know, well, the game, but also in just how the play-ins have been going for them so far, as this offense just seem a little sketchy right now. They don't seem the most coordinated as...
Oh, thank God.
Pasta had shot opportunity and might have been a little bit off the crossbar, but still able to follow it up, just staying behind the ball in this case, sending it straight back up to the crossbar. A little bit of an assist from the post there to guide it in. But, I mean, hey, this is still just a goal from Clemson. So if they're going to try to start turning things into their favor, at least they're doing it a little bit sooner than, well, what we saw last game, which was like 30 seconds behind.
It's been 30 minutes since we saw their last goal. No, I mean, yeah, like you said, 30 seconds left is usually when they're running that first goal. Finally, they have time, as you mentioned. Scoob, though, can't get the touch, and suddenly, it's a foot race back. And NK's getting the boost in the back. It's going to be Knight trying to take a shot. Puts it high, but there's no follow-up there. But the moment I say that, of course, Clemson can't connect. It's going to be Knight taking it all the way, and an opportunity that should not have ever presented itself for OKWU. Well, it just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson right now, they're just scattered. Right now, they're just unsure who's going to be going for the ball, unsure whether or not they should be. It might be a little bit of a confidence hit, something that you have been talking about. Maybe it's just a little bit of a trust, unsure whether or not they can continue with the play properly. They just feel like this OKWU team right now, they're answering every single question that they try and throw their way, which, I mean, that leads to a team, as a shot does get ripped on net, able to get behind it. Pasta still trying to continue after that. Not quite able to follow it up. This will just stay in front of the net past two players, although Pasta seemed like he was just out of the play, already right back in it. This ball seems to just be going to Clemson. Nothing that they're really doing to try and make efforts to control the pace, although Pasta, he's been the one to score for them, and he will continue to do so, but unfortunately, less than 20 seconds left.
I'm not gonna say it's over. I mean, a kickoff strat, a kickoff shenanigans, you would say, would make this possible, but we gotta see it. We have not seen any crazy kickoffs. I mean, wait, that's a very delayed one. It's one that goes the wrong way, and I mean, I do appreciate that they went for it. It didn't go right. I don't even know if it was intentional, but it was a different idea. It was one that could have worked out if it went slightly differently. But unfortunately, that does look like it means OKWU will be up 3-1. And, well, the Clemson have it in them.
Clemson have it in them. That is, hey, that's a brilliant question. I think that's the question that's probably on everyone's minds. Yeah, that is really what we're going to be looking at coming into this game, because right now, OKWU, they are on match point. They are the ones that there has to be a minimum of 3 more games for Clemson to really be able to kick into things, to be able to do things. And we will be talking for a little bit longer here in this case, as we will be having a quick tech pause. Seems like an OKWU player might be having some computer issues. So we're going to get a nice little reset in here before we get into the rest of the match. But all things considered, not looking too great for Clemson. A lot that they've got to change up.
Yeah, there's so many things that they probably feel that they're doing wrong. I mean, if you want to just put it down to the bare roots of what the issue is, they are so disjointed. I have not seen any proper true team play from this squad. I have not seen on their defense them passing to each other that much. There's been some opportunities of like maybe a redirect, maybe this guy like up at the midfield, but they are so infrequent, and it's just feeling like they're trying to do something by themselves. Scoob is still struggling. He's just been forced to play so much defense in these awkward 1vx scenarios that is just unrealistic to ask for.
Yeah. And I think we might be getting into things maybe a little bit faster. Some players doing a little bit of dancing around. We might have to wait for one more to join. Again, there were some technical issues bouncing around, but it looks like we'll be getting underway as well. Right now, we are in Aquadome, getting set up. Clemson's still on that blue side, maybe something that, well, hasn't been favoring them too much, but they've got to start changing things up, or else I think it's a little too late.
Yeah, but Skeleton Jack 50s pasta right away. It's going to be Scoob's turn. Scoob does not even jump for it. Knight, though, doesn't get a touch. Works out okay. Gallium. 50 goes well. Is that going to be a threat? No, it will be too high, and, well, it's actually looking kind of dicey for a second, because OKWU are bumping each other. Scoob, is that the aftershock? I'm sorry, the aftershock.
It is the aftershock. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Did he randomize his preset?
Considered.
That's a randomized preset. Okay.
It might be. It's
gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's absolutely. This is what you want to see from Scoop, though. This is what you want to see. I remember last season. I know you did not like it. I know that you weren't a fan of it.
I despised it.
But I think that the Nemesis was a beautiful pull. We've already seen someone with a non-standard car qualify for the playoffs. We saw that just earlier today. So maybe this is a little bit of a vibe change. Maybe this is the kind of just like mental that he needs, because he's getting some decent possession chances here. Maybe a little bit too fast of a giveaway, but nonetheless, maybe this is the kind of mood switch that they need. Although
the more you
I don't think Knight's really going to be slowing down.
The more you talk about it, the less it's true. Is what it feels like. Gallium just tries to take a 50 there where he should have just been a bit more patient. And it's an all tied up game, but Clemson, they were able to score first. First time in a long time they were able to say that. So they have some belief. And I mean, I'm sorry, what did that engine sound like?
Dude, I felt like I had to duck. I felt like I had to duck as the camera was passing by that car. Although beautiful save here from Gallium, that quick in and out, able to at least slow down the attack that right now OKWU seemed to be putting on. Skeleton Jack pre-jumping to get that, and right away Knight able to follow it up, stealing boost, maybe looking for a demo. That is going to be a shot on net, and it will bounce off of the post. NK, maybe a little bit more of a placement shot here, a little bit slower, but nonetheless does the job.
Yeah, and Scoob can't get there, and suddenly it's another lead for OKWU. It's oh so familiar here for the side of Clemson being down. I cannot take Scoob seriously. But it's going to be another chance here, possibly. No, it's a demo. It's a big one to get. Scoob is able to cut it off. Pasta takes over. NK now just gets 50'd hard. It's going to be Gallium's turn, but there's going to be a ceiling challenge coming quick. NK uses all his boost for it, but it will mean that there's no true worry yet, and Pasta has to make a save.
Because Evan, he will have to possess. Again, I feel like Pasta, he's been doing a lot of the offensive and, well, I think it's fair to say defensive work for this Clemson team. And, I mean, truthfully, I mean, it sounds a little rude to sit there and say that maybe he needs a little bit of help from some of his teammates. But right now, I think, the coordination just doesn't seem to really be there. Some of the communication efforts, although as much as they will be capitalizing off of this open goal, I do still feel like OKWU, they're the ones who they just seem to be in the right places at the right time more often than Clemson.
Yeah, but Clemson are slowly figuring things out here on Aquadome. And, well, it's another tie, and 3 minutes left on the clock is plenty for the game to change. Both good and bad. Pasta will get the boost, but gives up the possession for it. And Skeleton Jack will just steal their corner. Doesn't really need that mid boost, that means, but Scoob gets bumped, but gets that ball up into the sky. The aftershock will, of course, love that airtime, but right now it does mean Clemson have an infield pass that they take, but there's no one really there, and I do like the option of going for it. Unfortunately, as a team, you got to be able to calm that if you really want to take advantage of what that brings.
Yeah, because right now I do feel like kind of just these moments that Clemson are kind of just throwing the ball upfield and not in the right way. I feel like I said that earlier with OKWU. They know how to put the ball in a difficult spot. They know how to get behind it when they need to. But this Clemson team, they're kind of just getting rid of the ball. They're trying to just keep it away because they're fighting to get out of their own half a lot of the time. As we still see it here, OKWU, they're the ones who seem to have the possession, even with a big clear coming through. That's immediate clearance back, and it might be an open net, although that is a little slow. No, NK able to catch up to it, and I mean, I feel like Clemson, I dare I say they have themselves on the ropes by this point.
Yeah, it's not feeling like OKWU are playing amazing Rocket League. They are playing pretty standard Rocket League, where they are just letting the opportunities come to them. I mean, NK might be begging to differ, but Clemson, they're the ones who are making the mistakes. They're the ones who don't have it figured out. And, I mean, we mentioned earlier that Clemson are a raw team, but, I mean, we said raw, we don't say broken, but that's what they're looking like right now.
That is what they're looking like, but nonetheless, they are only a goal down. That is a little bit different than some of the games that we've been seeing prior. Most of the time, that 3 is not accompanied by a 2. Accompanied by a 0. So this match still showing to be a little bit different than the prior ones we've seen, as Pasta does possess this. Now it's going to give him some time, maybe just waiting for a 50 moment. Gallium, he's going to have to possess, although with an immediate challenge from NK, doesn't look like it was going to go any further.
Yeah, Gallium just tries to take control, tries to take a dribble, does not realize NK is putting that one away as quick as he can. In a minute left, 2 goals down, Clemson. They've been here before in multiple of these games, and they have not shown us reason to believe. Can they do so now? Knight doesn't get a touch that he particularly wants. Gives Clemson an opportunity to get this ball away. And NK, well, doesn't get anything, but gets demoed. Skeleton Jack, though, is able to respond. Scoob's touch is not one that's particularly favored. Gallium, thankfully, is able to get there. Now another way, a breakaway. Can't get anything. Skeleton Jack doesn't get the touch, but it's time. It's 30 seconds now remaining practically. So much time being burnt away. A shot will be off. Clemson are still having chances.
They're still having chances, and I mean, they're pushing the ball into this OKWU side, and there's a little bit of concern relative to collecting that as Scoob tries to push it off. Will be following this, is able to get the touch center, but NK, even with pushing the ball backwards, still just making sure that OKWU is holding on to it, because within these last 10 seconds, it's a matter of just making sure this ball doesn't get close to your net, get close to any net, honestly. And, well, as the clock does hit 0, it seems like Clemson will unfortunately not be joining us, and maybe with a crossbar dink to go along with it, Clemson are going to be knocked out. But congratulations to OKWU. They are moving on to the playoffs.
And with OKWU making their way in, it is officially confirmed. Group B have sent every single team of theirs to the playoffs. So a round of applause for whoever was in that group, because I mean that was a hectic one.
It was a hectic one indeed, and I believe we might be getting a little bit of a familiar face, or at least maybe not face, but maybe a familiar voice, as we have obviously interviewed this OKWU team plenty of times. I think we're going to be grabbing Skeleton Jack, if I am correct, for a post-game interview. There he is. Hello, hello.
What's up?
Oh, what's up? I mean, first off, congratulations. You guys are in the playoffs. How's that feeling?
It's amazing.
That is great to hear. Maybe not exactly how you guys would have wanted it. Obviously, a pretty solid fight going through the groups to try and make it here, but nonetheless, you guys are able to clinch it and get yourself into the lowers. I will say, I'm just gonna maybe get a general gauge of how that game went. Obviously, you guys had some games that were pretty favorable for you, but every once in a while, Clemson, they seem to put up a decent bit of a fight, even able to take a game and make some of those other games a lot closer. Were there any moments where maybe you were starting to think, oh, we need to change things up, or were you pretty confident in your play style the whole way through?
So like the first time that we played them, or last time in the semifinals, we knew that they bumped a lot. So the first game, they beat us on that one, obviously. We could have done better. We were looking out for the bumps a lot more and stuff like that after that game. And I feel like Scoop, he used to be like kind of goated, but today he didn't show out, I guess, as much. But yeah, I think we played good all around. Just watch the demos and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. You guys look like you're able to dodge them, and also you were able to retaliate them. But I want to ask, obviously, you guys, it was not a smooth journey to get your way here, even to play tonight. I guess, did that affect your gameplay at all, or was that on the back of your mind that it was not that easy, or was it something you were able to write off pretty simply?
So to be honest, we haven't really been practicing. So today was like our first time where we got to have like an hour warm up before the game. So I think that helped a lot. So maybe we need to start doing that more and with some more games.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, obviously the results, they do speak for themselves. So, and that might be something I want to throw in there. I know that there were some scheduling issues, some things that kind of made this a little last second, but nonetheless, you guys were able to take the game. I am just going to go ahead. I'll pick your mind about the future in this case, because obviously you guys are heading to the playoffs. You guys were able to clinch that playoff D spot, which means that I believe you're going to be going up against whoever is in that top bracket. Benin, do you remember who that was?
I am looking right now at who it is, and it'll be Penn State versus Kentucky. So loser of that, you guys will play, and I'm pretty sure that game has actually finished up earlier, so that will just be Kentucky you guys are playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know about Kentucky. I don't really remember them, or if we have played them.
Okay. Yeah. So a little bit of a fresh slate there. So all things considered, you still got a little bit of a schedule ahead of you. And well, I guess I could follow it up by saying, is there any team in particular you want to play coming into the playoffs? That might be a good follow up.
I mean, none of the hard ones. Give me the easy ones. I think that's the best answer.
Yeah, you want to get your route as simple as possible. That's fair enough. But thank you so much for joining us here, Skeleton Jack. And I mean, have a good one. Go celebrate with the team. You've done the first part of the journey.
Oh yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, that was Skeleton Jack, and we got to see a little bit of what OKWU is going to bring to the table relative to playoffs as well. Now, we do have at least a lot of that figured out. Obviously, there are still some upper round one matches that need to get themselves sorted out before we know what the lowers will look like. And if you were able to catch it in the middle of that interview, it seems like Penn State able to move on and take that one of the first upper round matches. So progress already being made for the playoffs in the MCC, but all things considered, it hasn't officially started yet. This is just the end of the play-ins, which means that we still have a decent amount of games to go regarding, well, the rest of this week, or at least, no, not the rest of this week, because we finished up the rest of next week, I should say, starting on Wednesday, although we might have a few that are coming in a little bit earlier. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. Make sure you are looking at some of the socials. Make sure you're keeping up to date if you are in the Discord for when we go live. Have notifications on for Twitch because, well, this is where you guys will be able to catch all of this action. As you can see, our play-ins are complete, and we are heading to the playoff stage of the summer circuit. We are almost done, folks. We are not that far away from seeing who is going to be, well, the winner of the MCC summer circuit, the first one. And I mean, we were able to see Nebraska take it last season in the spring, and well, they are in that uppers. So will we see a return run from the reigning champions, or are one of these new teams going to try and shake things up? Because we got a lot of teams and a lot of potential coming in for the rest of these playoffs.
Yeah, 12 teams left. One team will rule them all. But like you said, I think that's a playoff question and one that will be answered there. But I think it is time to call our night. So thank you so much for joining us here at the Meridian Collegiate Conference Summer Circuit. Thank you so much for joining us here in the play-ins. We can't wait to see you in the playoffs. Good night, everyone.